being creative when we're coming up with a design for a building project in my case, oftentimes I think people can feel like where does that come from? Am I ever going to have a good idea? Did my last good idea already happen? Like what's the future? How am I ever going to come up with something? And I think the thing that I try to think about is that it doesn't really have to come from you. The answers are out there. And what I mean by that is that every individual I work with, every business owner, they have a different vision for their business. They have a completely different history, personally, professionally, where they want to go, all of that kind of stuff. They have a different context, where they even are in the world that they're working. This is all material that I find being open to inspires tremendous creativity. And that's why I look at it as a real improvisation with the client, where so much of what's happening here is that they're starting the conversation. I've got decades of experience and certainly my own preferences and things I've done or want to do and things like that. But by starting with them, it allows me, if I'm open with, I'm a leader, I'm not a dictator, I'm not trying to tell them what to do. I'm trying to help them figure out the deepest thing that they're trying to do, or a couple different things that they're trying to do that we'll figure out down the road, and turn that into the thing, turn that into the improvisation where all of my experience is then the backboard that bounces it back to them. So that through these early conversations, that is really the creative process to me. And I talk about that. The Tao talks a lot about this. And so much of it is that if we can do it that way, we make a huge jump pretty quickly from discussions about intent and what we're trying to do and really trying to understand it and understand the balance and the way different things relate to each other, such that when we make the big jump to an actual drawing, going from conversation and words to an actual picture, the comment should be, and usually is, oh, that actually is the thing we talked about. I didn't know what it would look like, but that is it. And very often we go wide. We do two or three versions of what that might be. But the point is that because I can't say, hey, here's the thing. So we do two or three versions often, invite criticism, not looking for an objective, not looking for a quick yes, but inviting criticism. That allows us to then collate things and boil things down. And all of your own personal experience, all of your own preferences, it's all bubbling there under the surface. Of course, it just always is. But we're not thinking about aesthetics. You know, the Buckminster Fuller quote of we're not looking at aesthetics, we're not thinking about it at the beginning, but if it's not something we like at the end, something's wrong. And I'm paraphrasing, but the point is that we're not dismissing aesthetics, but we're delaying it. And again, it allows, in my mind, by having an open mindset, it's a little bit of a gravity's rainbow situation where you're sort of open and flexible and principled in what you will and won't do, but open to the other side. So much of what's happening is actually coming from them. And what I'm finding as I get older and deal with more and more projects is that I'm far less concerned with any sort of writer's block or anything like that, because it just isn't possible if you're open to the fact that the answers are really already out there. We're really not inventing anything. Architecture, in my case, is a precedent-based world. Anything you show me, I can point to my bookshelves and show you something probably very similar. The intent being different means they're very different projects. But my point is that we're very rarely inventing something. And even when people are inventing something, it might look like something else. Like, oh, look at this crazy blobby thing. Well, I can point to many crazy blobby things that might be in nature that might look like that. So my point is that very rarely are we actually inventing anything. We're really trying to bring it together and be flexible as we go through the process of developing an idea, understanding intent, boiling things down so that we can really get as many layers deep as possible with that. And then making that jump from conversation and prioritization and all of that, again, intent, ingredients, and goals that we can then say, how about this? And that jump should actually be pretty easy if we've done the first part right. So I would just advocate for, that's where I think creativity comes from. And if you have that mindset, it really takes a lot of the burden off of your own shoulders. And I know when I was younger, that was fairly debilitating sometimes when you're staring at a blank page as people would look at it. It can be the sort of scariness of that. It doesn't have to be that way, I think. And so that's why I love working with so many different clients on so many different types of businesses, because so much of what I can do is actually help them bring their idea to another level. So it's truly, you know, one and one equaling more than two. That's really the name of the game. So I hope that's helpful. And if you like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.